Hey everybody, we have fun here. I'm Jay,
And I'm Luke.
and this week we're having fun watching My Hero Academia Season 6, Episodes 21 and 22, The Lovely Lady Nagant and Friend.
Lady Nagant is based.
Yeah.
that was great. I loved that episode. Yeah.
She is great, yeah.
Yeah, I was excited to see this direction, this shadow government direction.
Yeah, it's really interesting. Yeah, that they
Yeah.
well, because we see the effect of society losing their faith in heroes like right now, and
Yeah.
that's what the Hero Commission had been trying to prevent this whole time.
Right. That's the crazy thing. It's like,
Yeah, so it's like, oh, would they have if the Hero Commission were in shambles,
mhm.
Endeavor would probably be dead now, you know? They'd be like, "Oh, we
Right.
can't have him. We can't have all that leak out." Nope.
Right. So that's what she was doing. She was killing heroes that had like shady past or something.
Well, anytime they did something like extremely out of line
Yeah.
and in a way that could not be fixed, I guess.
Sure.
Yeah, and that's what they got her to do, just to save face
Yeah.
for heroes in general.
Mhm. Right. Yeah. I think that's very interesting.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
it's sort of reframes a lot of this sort of loss of faith in heroes narrative for me.
Right, because it's kind of like, were they that great to begin with?
Yeah, wait,
You know?
maybe we should lose our faith in this
Exactly.
particular institution of hero-ness. Maybe
Well,
not
yeah,
in the potential
exactly.
that there can be quote unquote heroes, that this like
Yeah.
concept is still good, right? That there's
Mhm.
individuals who are exceptional and want to help other people, you know?
Exactly, and having, transparency and letting them be, like, human beings who are just, like, doing their jobs or whatever, it's this, uh which means that they can make mistakes and not crumble the entirety of society whenever they do.
Sure.
Yeah.
But I like some of the commentary going on here, not just with Nagant, but later in the next episode, All for One sort of talks about how there's these inevitabilities and like in social um construction, like just
Mm.
having a society having some sort of ordering of humans.
Uh-huh.
There's these sort of like inevitabilities of having to favor like one class or one
Oh,
uh
sure.
maybe the normies, I guess. I don't know.
Right.
There's like a certain standard, and wherever there's a standard, people aren't going to meet it, you know?
Exactly. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's like it's like I was just watching uh Atrioc react to a Rasputin video about difficulty in games.
Oh, I've been meaning to watch that, the
Yeah.
Rasputin video, not somebody reacting to it. I'd like to just watch the video. But
No,
yeah.
you should watch Atrioc react to it because Atrioc. I feel like
Uh-huh.
especially Rasputin likes Atrioc and likes his reactions to
Oh, no,
his.
well, and I'm
Yeah.
just saying I prefer to watch I don't need the commentary too. I do think that Atriot does bring some interesting commentary sometimes, though.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like it doesn't feel as much like a XQC or Asmongold, where it's just, I guess Asmongold says a lot of stuff about the videos he watches, but there's
Uh-huh.
some people who just,
Just
rant
kinda
on.
repeat what's on screen.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
And
yeah,
it's
yeah.
like Atrioc has his own gamer opinions.
Oh, sure. No,
And so
I'm just saying,
yeah,
I guess I like Rasputin enough that I wanna watch all his videos, but then I'd probably
sure,
also watch Atrioc talk about it too.
sure, sure. Fair enough, fair enough. But anyway, there's a great part where Rasputin is sort of laying out the some of the problems with the various ways that we can address difficulty in video games,
Mm,
or how to choose difficulty, or like how hard your game is or whatever.
uh-huh.
And he gets to the part where he talks about Dark Souls and talks about the games that don't have a difficulty slider. That
Mm,
there's just like different ways to engage with the game, or
mhm.
And he says that one of the difficulties with this is that if um if there's no way to change the difficulty, there's just a base level difficulty, and you got to figure it out. There's going to be some people who uh, are unable to play. They
Right,
just
yep.
they don't have the skill set or whatever level of determination one needs to learn the skill set, you know.
Mhm.
And so there will be people who are uh, kept out essentially from
Oh,
playing the game.
sure. Yeah.
And it's like, I think that is just I think that just exists, you know?
Mhm.
And is almost part of why some things are as good as they are. Like,
Oh, sure.
like Atrioc was talking about, like, that's almost, his added commentary to that part is that's almost why it's fun to beat Dark Souls.
Mm,
'Cause, you know, obviously there's a bunch of edgelords like this on Reddit who kinda gatekeep Dark Souls or whatever,
uh-huh.
but they're tapping into something very real that I think most people experience with overcoming a challenge, which
Mhm.
is, I overcame something that other people couldn't.
Oh, sure.
And that
Yeah.
adds to the tangibility of the reward of it.
Oh, definitely.
Like, it doesn't feel as much like an accomplishment if everybody can do it.
Yeah, yeah. I think there's kind of a back and forth about accessibility in video games and all that, you know? It's like not
Yeah,
everything is for everybody in a
sure.
way, and that even, includes just, like, taste and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Sometimes you don't wanna play a game where you gotta grind a bunch, but maybe that game's just not for you. Maybe you should play something else.
Yeah, I don't think everything can be for everyone,
Yeah.
you know? And that's sort of what I'm talking about when I link this idea to what what All for One's going on about, with this
Mm.
idea that like any given social order is going to inherently um serve some better than it serves others.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's like I don't know if there ever is a one size fits all solution for anything.
Oh, sure. It's like, what is it? Equity versus equality?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, and like the equity advocates will usually sort of start with that premise. It's like this society is serving like X people more than it's serving Y people, so we got to give Y people more stuff
Mhm.
to get them up to where X people are.
Uh-huh.
But the problem with that is then we'll find that Z people have not been served as well as Y people have been. And
Mhm.
then A, B, C, and on down the line, it's like
Yeah, yeah,
you're
yeah.
never gonna run out of individuals who haven't been perfectly served by this system either,
Oh, sure.
you know?
Hmm.
So it's turtles all the way down.
Interesting.
underserved populations all the way down.
Hmm. Well, I mean, I guess that's why, I guess if somebody asked me, "Hey, you got to do a Plato's Republic here and just
Yeah,
think of your perfect world or whatever,"
sure.
I would go for more like, small communities serving each
Mhm.
other rather than like one big umbrella government for anywhere. That people will be
Yeah.
able to meet each other's needs far easier if there were like smaller amounts of people
Mhm.
to do that, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, when you have large swaths of people and you try and, like, meet the lowest common denominator, it tends to suffer a level of quality, I feel like, even in, like,
Mm,
service or care, right?
uh-huh.
And it's
Interesting.
like and I find this really compelling about the video game thing, right? It's like,
Mhm,
it is insane to me, like, in the world of video games we exist in right now, where there's tons and tons of different kinds of games to engage with. The
mhm,
video game industry is huge, and yet someone will be like, "I feel like they need to add a difficulty slider to Dark Souls because
mm.
currently this game is not serving me."
Right, right.
You
Yeah,
know?
yeah,
And it's
I
just
could see that. It's like
it's wild that we exist in such a time that is just pouring forth with content to engage with, you
mhm.
know? It's like, we're in the ultimate situation of, "Oh, you don't like that? Go find something else. There's a million things out there." You know?
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, no, yeah, I guess I haven't seen that discourse in, like, a while,
Yeah,
and I've almost never seen, like, anybody directly say, "I wish Dark Souls specifically were easier." Um,
mhm,
that's always been more of a I've seen some people more say, hypothetically, somebody else might want a difficulty slider or something like
mhm.
that, rather than I want a difficulty slider. In this
Right.
kind of idea of inclusivity, which I don't think their heart's in the wrong place, but it's also kind of like, I don't know, have you asked somebody who maybe finds Dark Souls too difficult and they
Mhm.
just go, oh, I'll just play a different game? Who knows?
Sure, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, no, it can be well, for one, yeah, this discourse isn't particularly active anymore. I think the fact that Dark Souls is hard and that like um Elden Ring in particular
Mhm.
added a lot more variability to the kinds of things one could do to successfully get through the game. You know,
Interesting.
like they with exploration being a big part of it, you could ostensibly go out and find lots of stuff to sort of upgrade your character before, if you got stuck on a boss or something,
Mhm.
that sort of thing. Whereas Dark Souls, the original Dark Souls games did not really have that. It's like if you hit a boss and you can't beat it, screw you. Get good.
Right, 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 right. Yeah, yeah,
This
yeah, yeah.
this is what you have to do right now, son, and you're gonna do
Right.
it.
Oh, sure.
um
Interesting.
But yeah, so, I agree. I don't think it's, like, a huge problem that, like, there's a bunch of people picketing Miyazaki or whatever,
Mhm.
from software saying, "Give us a difficulty slider,"
Uh-huh.
you know?
Right, 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 yeah.
But it's like, there is this weird sentiment in maybe more so in, like, videos or something. Just this
Mhm.
there's this general sentiment in content where it's like it seems like a desire to have more content be what you want it to be. I
Mhm.
feel like this is something creators at least complain about,
Uh-huh.
is that people are telling them how to do their stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And
I
it's
see,
like,
like, comments sometimes. Yeah.
yeah,
It's never what I specifically wanted, and so
right.
yeah.
Well, it's like, there's let's go back to Atrioc for a second here.
Uh-huh.
There's Atrioc has obviously a lot of different aspects of his content. So there's some people who like some aspects more than other aspects,
Yeah.
you know? And so like a problem Atrioc will have is, he'll start the stream and be in his sort of shooting the breeze section of the stream where
Mhm.
he's just vibing out and hanging out. And some people really like that. I really like that part of the stream.
Uh-huh.
That's a fun part to listen to for me, like on my way to work or whatever.
Yeah.
And people will come in and be like, "What are we doing today? What's the plan?" What's and
Right, yeah.
he always ends up yelling at them and being like, "We're vibing right now. Then we'll get to the plan."
Well, I feel,
You know?
with live streams, the chat is somewhat influential, isn't it? And so
Yeah,
therefore
yeah.
you kind of feel like my comment's gonna do something, right? But
Right, right.
yeah.
But it's like Atrioc is so funny in particular because like he can pick it out. He
Oh,
can
sure.
pick out when someone's like trying to he gets off on a tangent and then he realizes that someone in chat is trying to subtly move him off the topic and back to the original topic. He's like,
Uh-huh.
"I see you in your band."
Oh, yeah.
But it's like it's that. It's this like I don't like X part of Atriot's content, so I would like him to move on to the part I do like.
Oh,
Is
sure.
is sort of the sentiment here. And it's like if you don't like that part of the content, there's so many ways to engage with Atriot's content,
Yeah,
whether
I'm
through
like
YouTube or clips
yeah, I'm
or
like, just watch the VOD instead.
yeah,
You can
there's
skip.
so many ways to
Yeah.
get exactly to what you want
Mhm.
and like ignore all the rest. That
Yeah,
it's
sure.
insane to me to go into the live stream and try and manipulate it to your desires
Mhm.
in real time.
Oh, sure. Well, I mean, I think about those like streamers or whatever that'll be like, if y'all donate $5, I'll write something on myself or do this thing or whatever. It's literally that.
Yeah, the interactivity is fun, but like
Yeah.
the weird thing is that whole section of Atrioc vibing at the beginning of his streams
Mhm.
is interactivity.
Yeah, it
That's the
is.
whole point is that he spends the first,
Chatting.
like, 30 minutes looking at chat and responding to questions and stuff,
Oh yeah, no,
you know?
and that's a good thing. I'm just saying that that's like kind of the not the it's kind of the precedent that
Mhm,
streaming has kind of set with people. It's like, oh, this is an interactive medium, and I will bend
mhm.
it to my will.
Sure, sure.
Yeah,
Yeah, I can see some of that. It's just yeah, it's interesting to me that in a world flooded with content, there's still, like, this we still have this notion that things should go our
well, and then that's in my mind. I'm kind of like, people need to take that energy and make things themselves, whether
Sure.
it's not something whether it's something you even share with anybody or not. I think we all have this like kind of creative energy within us. And I think
Mhm,
we kind of spend it consuming sometimes.
mhm,
Um but yeah, I feel like all this like on demand, so like, that was kind of a dream people were having with like AI and stuff, is like
mhm,
they're like, imagine you go on an airplane, you're on an 8-hour flight or whatever, and you get to make a movie just for you.
mhm.
It'll be the right genre, it'll be the right actors, it'll be the right everything. That's what AI, like, that's what people who are trying to push AI really hard want.
Mhm.
Like this really like on demand, hyper specifically catered to you stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like, I hate that.
I do too. I do too. That's why I'm pretty staunchly anti AI.
It's
And at least in terms of art, I understand machine learning in itself is not a completely bad thing. But when it
mhm,
comes to art and stuff, it's trying to edge out like real artists. It's trying to edge out people.
sure,
It's trying to edge out human expression and stuff. And the thing
sure.
is that humans are going to be imperfect always. And so
Yeah.
sometimes a piece of art is going to absolutely disappoint you, and that's okay. I think you can be
I just
disappointed in things. It's
There's
fine.
something about, like, going back to the Rasputin video,
Mhm.
there's something about, like, engaging with art in particular.
Mhm.
Like, a lot of people or some there's some group of people who really wants to have some sort of level of control over their art experiences.
Mhm.
But there's another group of people that I would put myself in, where it's like the whole point of engaging with like a Martin Scorsese film
Mhm.
is that I want whatever experience Martin has dreamed up, you know?
Oh, sure, yeah,
I
no.
I am at the will of Mr. Scorsese in the movie he has made, and I'm gonna
Mhm.
go on this journey regardless, you know?
Oh, sure, yeah,
That's
yeah.
what I've signed up for, and that's, something that, like, Rasputin talks about, like, wanting from gaming, essentially.
Mm,
It's
okay,
like,
yeah.
I don't want you to give me options for, what kind of experience I'm gonna have in this game. It's like, I want you to tailor make an experience,
Mm,
and either I like the experience or I don't. Either I keep playing or
okay.
I don't, you know?
That's a really good perspective to have, especially on a
Yeah,
game, which is a very such an interactive medium that you're
yeah.
subjecting yourself to, that
I
you're
guess the
locked in or
problem
you
with
aren't.
games is, like, you are spending, like, $60 to get this game, and so it is.
That would be the one argument I would have about, say, like, buying, like, Dark Souls and then finding out that it's just far too difficult for you. That's, like,
Yeah.
really disappointing to spend $60 on. But
There probably
also,
needs to be
returns are a
more.
thing.
Yeah, there probably needs to be more leniency in the world of, like, video game returns, I think.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, there's because a lot of the time, I think Steam, you can only return a game, like, within 24 hours of purchasing it.
Oh, wow, that's quite
Yeah,
short.
that's the
Wow.
only way you can get your money back. Um, so there's been, like, challenges, like, "Can I buy and beat this game and get my money back?" You know?
Oh, yeah, somebody did that with, which Sonic game was that?
Oh, geez, I can't remember. It was, like,
Forces?
Forces, maybe? Yeah.
Whichever one that was. Yeah, the one with
Yeah,
the
Forces.
OC that you got to play
Yeah,
as.
yeah, Forces sucked.
Yeah.
Forces wasn't very good. But anyway,
So
yeah,
I
yeah.
think somebody beat all that. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And then, like, you can't get your money back from the Nintendo store.
Oh, no.
Nintendo
Goodness,
just,
I didn't
like,
realize that.
famously does not do returns digitally. Physically, you can do
Wow.
returns, but digitally, yeah, you're screwed. So it's like
Wow, man, I didn't realize that.
either more
Goodness.
demos, a better return policy, something like
Mhm.
that for video games.
Oh, sure. Yeah, because I am a little bit like, people should be able to get their money back if they find out that a game might just not be for them. That's
Well,
fine,
it's
you know?
so subjective too, though, is the problem, is that, like, it a return policy for, like, Mario Kart would likely need to be shorter than, like, a return policy for, like, a 120-hour JRPG, you know what I mean?
Oh, sure. Yeah, yeah. Because you could
It
get, like, pretty far into a JRPG. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I guess it's like there's certain kinds of games where it's like maybe it would take longer to figure out whether or not you vibe with it,
Mhm.
because, like, there's certain kinds of games where you don't kinda get the momentum going until, like, a couple hours in.
Oh, sure. Well, and then, maybe you should finish a game that you don't like, who knows? I don't know.
That
But,
exactly, that's
yeah,
another thing, it's like,
yeah.
Rasputin talks about this in the video, which is that you sometimes come to challenges and you don't really enjoy the challenge, but you have this desire to get through it, and once you get through it, that's where the enjoyment comes.
Yeah, and then that's the basis of the channel, The Completionist.
Yeah, yeah, exactly,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah, 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 yeah.
But all this is to say, I think I understand what the villains are kinda going on about in My Hero Academia.
Uh-huh.
You know? It's like this strange, um maybe not strange, it's this desire that a lot of people have to have society sort of work for them,
Mhm.
and the villains apparently feel underserved in this situation,
Oh, sure.
and I guess what they're trying to say is that it seems like it's based on things like whether or not you look like a hero, or
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
if you have villainous kinds of powers that are
Mhm.
destructive, that sort of thing.
Oh, yeah, well, and it's also, in real life, it's
Mhm.
the underserved who turn to crime,
Sure, sure.
you know? Because that's how you survive.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's an interesting sort of critique, and I wonder how they're gonna address all this essentially, you know?
Oh, sure.
Especially the shadow government thing. What
Yeah, yeah.
what is what are we gonna do about the
About the shadow
organization
government.
with assassins and
Yeah.
the managerial class?
Yeah, that is I mean, they say that right now the Hero Commission is in shambles, and it's just like, maybe they'll just go, "Let's just not put it back together."
Yeah,
We don't need we don't want that.
but this is the issue. It's like with any it's not that the Hero Commission was a particularly, like, bad group of people or something.
Uh-huh.
I think this kinda thing is just inevitable.
Oh, sure.
I think there's almost a necessity for powers that be to do nefarious things in service of, you know, keeping the peace or the good or the whatever.
Oh, sure.
Seems like it happens every time.
Yeah, society is fun.
Yeah, you know?
Plato, come
But
save us.
so yeah. But so, like, I totally get I identify with Lady Nagant.
Uh-huh.
I'm over here, like, seeing, the world is awful.
And so she should totally turn Deku in and let all for one have one for all.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
Exactly.
there we go. Yeah. I mean, since evil is inevitable, I think we should always meet evil with evil. That's how that Bible verse goes, right?
Well, this is one of the weird things. Have do we know what is his plan? Like, in this episode,
Yeah.
she mentioned, the world that All for One envisions,
Mhm.
seems better than this world.
Uh-huh.
And I'm still not 100% sure I understand what the world he envisions is, you know?
He's always been kind of vague. It's a very
Mhm.
vague just taking over the world, which has always
Yeah,
been like a really vague notion to me too. It's like, what does it mean to be at the top and all that? But
yeah. I understand that, like, it seems like he's gonna run things, you know?
yeah.
That's at least part of the idea.
Uh-huh.
But what is he gonna
do.
do, yeah, how is he in what different way is he gonna organize, the societal structure?
Yeah, how will he distribute, goods and services?
Yeah, yeah, I mean, that's the question, right?
Yeah.
It sounds like Mr. All for One needs to read Plato's Republic, you
Yeah, I
know?
think you should really sit down and before you take over the world, you gotta really sit down and lay out a good economic plan and everything, you
Yeah,
know?
yeah, I think so.
Yeah. I don't know if we ever really get, like, all the nitty-gritty details of it all. He's just
Well,
trying to,
but,
like, live
like,
out his comic book fantasy.
that was one of the things I appreciated about Thanos in
Mm,
the Marvel movies,
uh-huh.
was that he had a pretty clear goal,
Yeah.
and he had a plan to get there,
Yeah.
you know?
It's a real stupid goal, but it was very clear.
It had a logical sense to it.
I mean, the thing is, even before the population was at 7 billion,
Mhm.
there was still impoverished people. Like,
Sure,
it's
yes,
not
yeah.
it has nothing really to do with population.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's, uh, there's an equaling out that he tried to do that, did
Well,
not
here's the thing, in, like, the comics, apparently, he was trying to impress death itself.
Sure.
And that makes sense to me more than if we just got rid of half of all people on the earth. We would have more resources and therefore they would get distributed more fairly.
Yeah,
But that's not how it works.
but this is a real thing. There are people who believe this.
Well, yeah, there are people who believe this, and I'm just saying that they're wrong.
Yeah, yeah, I understand that, but it's like,
Yeah.
it's not as, like, I just wanna run society because I don't like society or whatever,
Uh-huh. Yeah, I
it's
mean, yeah, I would say he had a very, very clear plan, and
yeah,
yes, and he did it.
yeah.
Yeah, but and yeah, I would say that.
Well, I think that's just I just my point is I think that's more compelling as a villain.
Oh, sure. Yeah,
It's like,
I get you.
if All for One was out here like, "I wanna organize the social structure in this way,"
Uh-huh.
you know? I think that would be more interesting than just vague, "I wanna rule the world."
Oh, sure, yeah. Hold on,
It's
let let
like,
me let
well,
me grab some water, my
okay,
voice is acting up.
okay, fair.
Sorry
Yeah,
about that.
it's all good.
But, yeah, all for one, vague plans,
Yeah,
and I don't know if Horikoshi's all that interested in writing that either,
in writing what his plan is or
in
whatever.
writing what the plans are. I mean, because
Yeah,
I just yeah, it's just I think he was just trying to kinda write, uh, just kind of the amalgamation of so many, like, villain characters in media,
sure.
and
Yeah.
they all just kind of vaguely wanna take over the world.
Yeah, but I mean, in this 2nd episode in particular, he
Uh-huh.
has a freaking speech about, the disparity between the villains and whatnot. It's like, so,
Mm.
on some level, it seems like if I were to postulate on what his plan is, it
Uh-huh.
seems that he just wants the current oppressed class to rule, you know?
I
He
see.
just want he just
Just
wants a
flipping
good old
everything.
fashioned, yeah, just a good old fashioned switcheroo, you know?
Yeah, 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 yeah. I'm just thinking about him saying that in his, like, freaking deep voice.
Yeah.
"Yes, All Might, I'm just trying to pull a good old-fashioned switcheroo."
Yeah, exactly, exactly.
Yeah.
But so, yeah, that seems to be my approximation of what exactly he's looking to do. He
Mhm.
wants to rule, and he wants all the people now considered bad and evil to be um, the rulers as well, or
Right.
the upper class, the norm, I
Yeah,
suppose.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, I see that, yeah.
Yeah, which is, like, so silly.
It it's a little bit silly, but you know what? When you're a top dog, it's like
Yeah,
yeah, it's like, all he wants to be is top dog and kinda screw everybody else at the end, you know? It's
yeah, because, like, I mean, like we pointed out with, like, the toga episode,
Uh-huh.
recently, it's like some people just have powers that are kind of, you know?
Yeah, I mean, but yeah, and, I guess in his
Kind of an
society,
invasive
she would be
powers,
able to
you know?
eat as many people as she wants to,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah,
yeah.
I was kinda disappointed in this first episode here, the lovely Lady Nagant episode
Uh-huh.
when Deku stopped Lady Nagant from unraveling the fabric of society further, you know?
'Cause Deku very much believes in upholding the status quo,
So true,
Yeah,
King.
yeah. So, yeah, Lady in the God gets blowed up because she decides to believe in Deku.
Yeah, that part was crazy to me. I
Yeah,
remember specifically one of the things I thought was like, she blows up and then she's falling, and they're all
uh-huh,
freaking out about, like, trying to catch her or whatever,
yeah.
and I'm like, "Wait, the I was under the impression that the blast had just killed her, you know?"
Oh,
They're
okay,
all like, "Oh,
right.
no, we can't let her fall to the ground," and I'm like, "I thought she's not dead, she just blew up."
No, this is this is one of those non-lethal explosions in anime.
I guess so, good god.
Explosions just aren't quite the same
They
in
were just
anime.
the way they were playing the music and talking
Uh-huh,
about her, it seemed like she was dead, but then all of a sudden, they're really concerned about
catching
catching
her.
her before she hits the ground, and it's like, "Oh, okay, I guess she survived exploding."
Yeah. I mean, I'm kind of like, I'm glad they didn't kill off a cool character,
Yeah. I mean, that's
but,
cool and all, but why make
I'm
her
also kinda
explode?
like, when I saw her explode when reading the manga, I was like, "Oh, we're just killing her now, okay."
Yeah. Well, because they started talking like she was dying or
Right,
dead
right,
or,
right, yeah.
you know? It everything led me to believe that until they started freaking out like, "Oh, she's gonna hit the ground, we can't let her die." Like, "What?"
Right, right, right.
I'm confused, this is a weird switch here.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I guess the explosion just seemed really superfluous.
Mm.
It didn't really do anything.
I mean, she's, like, not in great shape at the moment.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
she
I
can't,
mean,
like,
she's
tell them
hurt.
anymore she can't tell them any more information now that she's,
Right.
like, off in one of those comas or whatever.
Yeah, but, like, you could just, like, have him insert a quirk into her because, apparently we can just do all kinds of things, all for one.
Mhm.
He
Yeah.
can someone out there because we're led to believe that all the quirks that he has to give are quirks that existed out in, like, they arose from some mutation,
Uh-huh.
right? So we're to believe that he found someone who had a quirk that when they experienced hope, they would explode.
Okay, well, I don't think that hold on, maybe I didn't catch this. I thought he, like, just planted, like, a straight up bomb in her. I don't think he
No, that
No?
was a quirk. That was
I
supposed to be
think
a
then
quirk.
then then if it's a quirk, then I think it's probably some kind of remote detonation quirk of his own.
But how would that work? I
Well,
don't
just whatever the
understand.
quirk's rules are, you touch somebody on their shoulder or something and say, You're gonna explode later."
Okay. Yeah, the That seemed to be the explanation. Deku was like, he gave All For One must have given Lady Nagant these quirks, these extra quirks. It's possible he might have slipped something in there.
Oh, okay. Okay, well,
And so the implication is that he slipped her a quirk
that makes you
from some
explode.
dude that makes it makes you explode when you experience joy or hope.
I'm gonna be, I don't wanna waste a bunch of time looking up on the wiki right now. This will be greatly amended whenever this episode actually comes out. But we're just gonna stick with that for now.
It
I will
seems
write an
yeah,
addendum if that's not the case, but, we'll just stick
it's
with that.
something. I'm 100% I'm 100% on it being a quirk.
Okay.
Now, obviously, I'm kinda joking about
The hope thing.
the hope thing, but it
Yeah.
seems like some arbitrary explosive, I don't know if Mr. Horikoshi was thinking about what the rules of this quirk were.
Maybe not,
I think he was just like, "Oh, he put a trap in, so if she betrays him, she'll explode." It's
Right,
like,
right, right,
how the
yeah.
hell does your body register that?
Yeah, I don't know what sort of surveillance she is under,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, and it's like even if he gave her a quirk, he can't remotely react activate other people's quirks.
Mm. Right, yes. So it's like I feel like it has to be his own quirk then, right?
So he has a quirk where he can detonate people.
Yeah, but there's probably like a rule here that he's had to have been in like contact with them or something. It can't just be detonate
Maybe.
anybody, or else he would just explode Deku and come pick him up.
I don't think there's any rules here.
I will
I
look this up later. I will add my addendums.
I think they just needed this moment to work, you know?
Yeah, which you know what? I'm all for contrivances.
Alright, well,
Let's
there you
go.
go. But yeah,
Yeah.
and then so they find out from Lady Nagant that, they're trying to take Deku to some weird cabin or something.
Yeah, that was the creature resistance clan or rejection clan or whatever. That
Yeah.
was their old mansion, and that was like we had a flashback with the League of Villains taking over that place. Like
Mhm.
it was it last season. I can't remember. Whenever they did that.
Yeah, me either. I can't remember.
Yeah, but I remember that specific location. But yeah, and that's where they see the All For One message, and he does
Oh,
try
and he
to explode Deku.
yeah, he does. He should have just used his detonation quirk,
Again, there's
where he can just explode people.
right, whatever. But yeah.
But anyway, he has a detonation quirk where he can explode people if they nullify and or go against a verbal contract that they have
Mm,
made with him.
that could be one. That could be it.
But anyway,
Yeah, yeah.
old they did start finally. I think I noticed in this episode, these two episodes, the change in art direction you were kind of
Oh yeah, I
talking about.
have a bunch of screenshots for you. I don't think they quite went as far as I wanted them to, but then also there are limitations to animation versus illustration.
Yeah, yeah, they definitely
Uh
made him look all dark and animalistic.
oh yeah, I think they did a pretty neat job of it. But it's not quite what I'm about to share with you.
Yeah. So this is the black suit Spider-Man arc.
Yeah, this is the Black Suit Spider-Man arc. Like,
Yeah, it's like
look at this line work, man. It's great.
yeah, man. I mean, he looks like Attack on Titan or whatever. It's Real edgelord over here.
Oh yeah, I'm so for it.
Yeah. I will admit there's a part of me that never really loved I guess there's some joy I derive from like the class A antics and whatnot. Those are
Uh-huh.
fun sometimes, but like overall I'm more of an edgelord than,
Uh-huh.
maybe the average boy.
Uh-huh.
And so I do really, really like the Full Metal Alchemist 2003 direction we're taking here, you
Oh
know?
yeah, no, it's I like this arc a lot. This like really brought me back into this show. This when I was reading it, I was just like, oh
Mhm.
man, this is great.
Yeah.
Which is why I bought the Edgelord Deku figure. That's what that
It's cool.
first panel I shared with you is based off of specifically.
Mhm.
Which yeah, so that's the black whip he's using like all the time it seems for whatever reason, and that's why it looks like Deku is going sicko mode in his figure.
It does.
When it
It
yeah,
does.
it does look like it, but it's not quite that. And also we sort of got an explanation today on like saying something about like we can't let the media find out who Deku is, and that's why he's wearing a mask this whole time.
Oh, that's weird.
Yeah. Well, because again, the media, if they know him at all,
Mhm.
they know him from like the sports festival, and he wasn't wearing
Sure.
this costume, so they don't know who this guy is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I I like the darkness.
Yeah.
I'm into the darkness, I'm into the carnage, okay?
Into the carnage. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
It
Yeah.
is kinda weird where when he wears the mask into the mansion.
Uh huh.
It's like, All For One knows who you are.
It's part of the persona now. It's about
Yeah.
getting ready. It's about doing.
He's gonna go full Rorschach at some point, they're gonna take his mask off, and he's gonna be like, "My face! My face!"
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's what'll happen.
Yeah. He's going off the deep end, man.
Oh yeah.
And then, like, he encounters these weird puppet guy, right?
Mm. Yeah, yeah. Dictator.
Yeah, yeah, dictator. And, I really loved when they all grouped up on him and, like, took off the mask and everything, and he's got emo hair going on. Just like he's got just
Oh
one
yeah.
lock over the eyes.
Let me show you Deku's prototype sketch.
Uh-huh. Did he have emo hair back in the day?
He did have a little bit more emo hair.
Aw, man. I want emo Deku, honestly.
Yeah, I feel like we're just like
This is
if
the
this show
best,
had been
like
made in like 2007, you know?
mhm. There's just, like all those people who really complained about Luke Skywalker sort of, like, losing hope in the second Star Wars sequel movie, The
The
Last Jedi?
Last Jedi. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, they're all like, "No, he would never lose hope. I don't wanna see Luke Skywalker lose hope." I'm the kinda guy who was like, "Yes. Yes, lose hope, Luke Skywalker."
Oh no, I was way into that personally. And then the
Oh,
other
man.
movie just spat in the face of that. Yeah, this
Yeah.
is this is the old sketches of him. So he's been kind of wanting to do this like bunny costume like
Yeah.
forever.
I vastly prefer that hair, honestly.
Really interesting. I
He
think it
looks
looks
like,
okay.
he looks almost like the protagonist of Persona 3
I can see it. Yeah, yeah. And then let me find something else.
if
So
his hair
there's
was
a
a little
one
more
shot
wild.
before it was called My Hero Academia. There's a one shot just called My Hero.
Uh-huh.
Uh, we're going a little more into the the direction of what Deku looks like now.
Uh-huh.
Let's see. No, why did that take me somewhere else? Let's see.
Man,
I don't
they
think
really
you're
made
gonna like this design, but this is like again going more towards the Deku we know today. And I don't like this design very much either. I think he really he figured it out with drawing like Deku now.
Mhm.
This is back when his name was Jack Midoriya.
Jack? What is up with this? He looks weird.
He's like extremely sick in this.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
In like a world that's been, instead of having like heroes and villains, you have heroes and a bunch of like monsters and stuff, and Jack Midoriya is a weapons salesman.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I like his he's still got the bad tie here.
He does. I just noticed that now. I was like, oh no, he's got the bad tie still.
Yeah. He's got the weird tie. There's a
The weird
bunny
tie.
icon up in the corner. You see that?
Yeah, I see that. Okay. Huh.
So
I need to. I haven't. I don't know if there's like an official release of this one shot, but I've been able to like find it.
mhm.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like emo.
Emo
Midoriya.
Deku.
Emo Deku. That's
Oh
good
yeah.
stuff.
Speaking of Deku.
Mhm.
So let me read the. So in the author's comments for the
Mhm.
chapter that this is based off of, Horikoshi shared with us where he got the name Deku from, or at least
Mhm.
where he got the inspiration to call him Deku.
Mhm.
The name Deku originates from a verse of a poem called "Be Not Defeated by the Rain." So maybe that's why now in the story it's raining all the time.
Because he's been defeated.
Be not defeated, right?
Yeah, but
Yeah.
he's definitely
He's kind of getting
feeling
defeated
some
there.
defeat right now.
Yeah, yeah,
I'm
yeah.
realizing now that the OP has been spoiling the season the whole
It has
time.
been. Yeah, it has. I
Yeah.
think they did a little too much in this OP with the whole like. I think they just put way too much of the story in this OP. Honestly.
Yeah, like literally it has like the clouds parting and his friend showing up.
Yeah.
So I wonder what's gonna happen
Yeah.
in this
Who
next
knows what could
episode.
happen in these next 3 episodes?
Yeah. I wonder if he's gonna go with his friends or stay by himself.
Yeah. Who knows, man? This isn't a shonen anime or anything.
Right, it's like
Yeah.
you can argue it's already sort of a foregone conclusion that they're gonna work 1A back into the story, but if you're like me and you sometimes can watch things and be like, "Huh, I wonder if maybe they'll do something original here."
Uh-huh.
You know?
Yeah.
I guess maybe it's better that the OP has spoiled it for me so I haven't raised my hopes,
Yeah,
you
I
know?
mean, what? I mean, what's Deku gonna do? I mean, he's already like he's gonna get killed by this like angry mob of people, or not angry mob, but controlled mob
Mhm.
of people,
Yeah.
whatever. Like he's not gonna face all for one.
Ugh, I guess.
He can't do it.
Class 1A has always been my least favorite part.
I like Class 1A.
Some of them are okay.
Yeah, I like these bunch of quirky little characters.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm very excited because one of the upcoming episodes is called A Young Woman's Declaration.
And you're like, Uraka's, it's gotta be hers.
I
It's gotta be her
need
love.
Raka to declare. I do declare.
I do declare. Maybe she will.
I need that.
Yeah,
We'll
so
see what happens.
yeah, we'll do the triple next week. And
Triple
that'll
next
be
week.
we'll be done with the show
Yeah, for now.
until it
Until it
comes back.
comes back, yeah. And then we'll move on to Full Metal Alchemist.
Yeah, we'll be on Full Metal Alchemist lockdown for like a year or two.
And it'll be all emo all the time.
All emo all the time.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
I want it. I wonder if there's a Blu-ray of Conquerors of Shambhala. I gotta find that out.
Yeah, yeah.
There's
Huh.
a DVD, but is there a Blu-ray? There is. There is a Blu-ray.
Oh, there is. Oh, nice.
Oh, yeah.
I wasn't sure if they would do that or not.
I need it. I need it. Oh, my God. People are selling it for like $118.
It might have been a limited release.
Probably. Good Lord. Why do they do this? It is a good movie. I like it.
Oh, interesting. On February
What?
1st, 2016, Funimation announced via its official blog that the company's licensing rights to Full Metal titles would expire March 31st of 2016.
Mm-hmm. What does that mean?
No further home video copies are being produced anymore.
Oh.
So it's limited in quantity, which is why people are selling it for so much.
Gotcha. I found one for 50.
Oh, not bad, not bad.
I'll look around. I'll see what I can dig up.
Oh, sure.
All right. Well, anything else?
No, not really.
Well, all right.
I will sign us off then.
Yeah, I gotta go hit the gym. Woo!
Thank you for listening to We Have Fun Here. Join us next time as you watch Season 6, Episodes 23, 24, and 25. See you then.
Bye. Sorry, I wasn't paying attention. Bye.